Hăīre, φίλε, and welcome. Today we are in John chapter 3, taking a look at verse 23, the second of our two standalone paragraphs that we're just going to be treating together. Here is our rubric, everything that we're looking for as we go through this text. Let's go ahead and get started. Einde kai ho Ioannes baptizon en ainon engus tu salem hoti hudata pola ein eke kai paragenonto kai ebaptizonto. Oh, verse 24, I missed that. Hu upo gar ein beblemenos estein fulaken ho Ioannes. So apparently we're doing two verses today. I completely missed that 24. So our very first word is in fact a verb, so that's nice. We've seen this one before. Ein, we know it's the imperfect third person singular. Don't need to do any more than that. De just means but or and. Since we have a kai there, I'm going to lean towards probably but kai could, instead of just and, mean also. So putting them all right there. Ho Ioannes. So this is nominative singular masculine. We haven't seen John for a while. That eta sigma there is a first declension masculine form. The John. So since we've got John right there, we want to look for something for ein to connect into. But also should note that ein is at the very beginning, which means it's the most emphatic. And normally when we find something like sum or eimi at the beginning of a sentence, it can have a additional meaning than the normal connecting of two objects together. It can indicate the existence of something. So unless we have something for John to be connected to with ein, that would appear to be it. In ainon, so we have a prepositional phrase right here after baptizon, which we'll get to in a minute. Engus, that's the wrong form to be part of this one. So since we have a prepositional phrase showing a location, so this is going to be ainon is not declined. So that's not a normal Greek word, at least not as far as I'm aware. So I can't really identify what form n is going to be taking, but normally it's going to be dative, so leave that alone, just indeclinable. This means in ainon. So since we do have that prepositional phrase, John can be linked with that by way of this linking verb here, or it could just be saying, there was the John in ainon. 6 one way, half a dozen the other, really. In ainon baptizon, omega nu right there. This is something that we've seen quite a lot in the last few videos. So this is a nominative singular present, because that zeta right there. It is active, and it is a participle. Singular present active participle. Got the masculine. There we go. Baptizing. In ainon engus. Engus, I believe, it's either a preposition plus the genitive, or it is an adverb. I can't remember which of the two makes most sense. Genitive, the genitive form here of this article could just be a locative form. And from what I remember, that's the way Latin would work. Genitive is a place at for the locative. I don't remember if that's actually the case for the Greek, but I'm pretty sure that this does take the genitive. So that's how I'm going to treat it right now. If that is not the case, a note will suddenly appear before you and correct my egregious error. This is singular, and it could be masculine, feminine, or neuter. Since salem is not a Greek word and it doesn't decline properly, we can't tell just by looking at it, and we can't tell from this whether it is masculine or neuter. So I'm going to leave that part alone. Just mark singular for that. Close prepositional phrase right there. Near the salem. Okay, there we go. Hoti. Hoti can either be that or because. We don't know, so we need to take a look at the rest of this clause to figure out which of the two makes the most sense. Hudata pola ein. Exact same thing as that. So was, we want a singular if it's masculine or feminine, or a singular or neuter if it is, sorry, not singular or neuter, singular or plural if our noun, our subject of this verb, is neuter. K is an adverb, so we go back to hudata. Hudor, hudatos, I want to say is the genitive form of this. This is, in fact, neuter. We've got the alpha right there, along with this adjective with alpha. That is a nominative plural neuter noun and its adjective. Working with a singular verb, very common in Greek. Eke means there as an adverb. So, now we need to try the two different ways of translating this. Water, much, or many. Depending on whether or not we treat this as plural for the singular, that is the Jordan, or as just speaking about all the different waters that are there. So I'm going to write down both of those options. Waters, many. Is that synecdoche? I don't remember what the stylistic thing that would be called. So, because much water was there, that much water was there. In context, the John was in Einon near the Salem because there was much water, or the John was in Einon near the Salem that there was much water there. Yeah, that just doesn't work. So, it has to be because. Okay, moving on. Kai and par egenonto. So there's our verb right away, so that's nice. Omicron nu tau. Omicron, that is going to be a third person plural. This epsilon augmenting vowel right there. That tells us that this is imperfect tense. And thinking. Genomai is what this verb para genomai. So this is deponent. And it is indicative. And this one means to come to or come near to. So since we have plural here, we could technically have the water, but that doesn't make any sense at all. So this has to be talking about the people of the Jordan land, the land of Jordan. So, and they kept, they started, they emphatically were coming near. And ebaptizonto, this is the same exact form, except baptizo is not deponent. So this one has to be passive or middle, which I normally mark NP. Oops. So now we just figure out which of these two makes more sense. And they were coming near and were baptizing for themselves, and they were coming near and were being baptized. Passive makes a lot more sense. Were being baptized. So then for the different options for imperfect between these two, as I said earlier, began to, kept, emphatically, and brain is failing now. Oh no, it's gone. So it's not going to be kept because baptizing was something that they did once. Were, the continuous makes sense since a lot of people were coming to John, just as a lot of people were apparently coming to Jesus. We'll find out, I think, actually, in the next paragraph. Inceptive, yeah, it could also be that, except John has been doing this for a while now. We'll find out again, I think, in the next paragraph. So I'm going to leave it as continuous, and let's move on. Upo gar ein, ein again, so this is pretty easy. Was, gar, for, and upo is not yet. Beblemenos, so we've got reduplication right there with that beta and that epsilon. Men, to show our middle passive participle. Omicron sigma as our nominative singular masculine. Perfect. Middle passive participle. Okay, since we've got a perfect participle right here with an perfect form of sum, this creates a passive periphrastic, which I believe we can treat as a pluperfect tense. So these two together, I'm going to treat as pluperfect. Cross that out for had been thrown. except not yet. Ace, prepositional phrase right there, plus the accusative. Fulakain edenu and edenu in that article, especially in the article, tell us feminine singular. And I don't need to write singular twice. Ho is the wrong form, so that ends right there. Into the prison. Ho Ioannes, we've seen that before right there, so we don't need to parse it again. Okay, there we go. Now we just need to take a look at it in its own context. But there was also John baptizing in Ainon near the Salem, or John was in Ainon, because much water was there, or were many waters there, and they were coming near and they were being baptized. For John, specific John, had not yet been thrown into the prison. So there we go. Now from verse 22, because it's tradition that we do this now. After these things, the Jesus came and his disciples into the Judah, the land, and there he was spending time speaking. He was delaying with them, and he was baptizing. But the John was in Ainon baptizing near the Salem, because there was water, much water there, and they were coming near and were being baptized. For John, the specific one, had not yet been thrown into the prison, or was not yet having been thrown into the prison. So there we go. That was a lot of back and forth and a lot of convolution. Thank you very much for joining me in this very short one. I hope taking a look at this has been helpful for you, and I hope that you have a very good day. Farewell. Hey, not asleep yet? That's okay. I've got tons of other videos that are equally sleep-inducing. Check them out. Alternatively, you could take a look at this video over here.